What's up, gang? I was recently invited to check out the new BMW X3 and decided to give you guys my first impression of the car in this video. This is not a review of the car because I didn't get to spend enough time with it, but nevertheless, I got to explore and drive it enough to tell you how it looks and feels inside, and a quick peek of how it drives. But first, I obviously got to take a quick look of the goodies they had at the floor, especially this facelifted M135 in blue. Yep, it now comes with the quad pipes like a proper M car. But unlike the likes of the M2, M3, and M4, where the pipes are closer to the center, this one's a bit closer to the edge. I guess is to differentiate the two. Who knows? Tell me what you think of the design. I'm okay with the rear, not sure about the lights. The side profile is good too. I feel like it's a bit closer to the F20 in terms of the silhouettes. The front is where it gets a bit tricky. I don't know, you guys decide in the comments. Let me know. They also had this M2 presented at the floor, another divisive design. But has it grown on you? Has it grown on you? Let me know. Even if you don't like the design of this car, you can't deny the presence it has on the road because of its sporty bits like wider wheel arches. This is how BMW does it. All right, let's get to the variants that you can currently get in South Africa. But first, thanks to 4Ways for the invitation and allowing me to film. And thanks for the food. It wasn't too bad. And a special thank you to Ramon. He's the one who was taking me through the car. He gave me a little tour. So if you are ever at 4Ways, make sure you ask for his service. He's a great guy. Back to the engines. So there is currently 3 variants: a 2-liter diesel, aka the famous 20D, a petrol hybrid with respectable performance numbers. This is the X3 30E, and the current big dog, the M50, with very, very respectable performance numbers. The M50 replaces the 40i, by the way, so no 40 in this generation. And no more letters after the numbers for the petrol variants, obviously because of the electrical cars, blah, 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 blah. So the 20D. This is what I had for the day. This is what I got to drive and explore. You'll be getting a 2-liter diesel engine with about 145 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters of torque. This is not a hybrid, but there's a high voltage battery adding about 13 kilowatts. But the 13 kilowatts is already included in the 145 kilowatts. And the battery helps with the driving experience, especially the smoothness. I will discuss this in the driving section of the video. Fuel consumption, you're looking at a clean 5.8 to 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So this is the clean, like lowest you can get. We also get a pretty fast petrol hybrid version called the 30E. This is a 2-liter petrol pumping out 220 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in about 6.2 seconds, and the Vmax is to 15 kilometers per hour, just like the 20D. If you drive it in electric only, your Vmax will be 140 kilometers per hour. The fuel consumption for this one is 1.1 liters per 100 kilometers claimed, but I guess the fuel consumption is so low because it's a hybrid, so they calculate it from both driving it in electric only and also using the engine. And for serious power, there's the M50 X-Drive. All the variants can be bought in X-Drive, by the way. I'm just reiterating that the M50 is an X-Drive because of the performance numbers. So this puts out a total power of 293 kilowatts and 580 Newton meters of torque from a combination of a 3-liter turbocharged engine. What's up, B58 gang? And 48 volts battery. The result is a 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds and a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. Claimed fuel consumption is 7.7 liters to 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers. And this replaces the 40i, by the way. The new X3 is a massive departure from the outgoing generation, and it follows the new BMW design, language, and philosophy of experimentation, being bold, and just taking massive risks. The grille is much bigger with an illuminated frame. It also houses the front camera, and it has a cutout which I thought it was the sensors, but apparently it's for ventilation. And instead of open slats in the grille, there are vertical and diagonal lines that meet in the middle, making an interesting pattern. The daytime running lights are also much different, and I think they look like those on the Cherry cars. I might be wrong, but this is what I think from the first impression. This is also what I thought the first time I saw the car. This is, of course, the M Sport package, and you can see it with the more aggressive bumper with the piano black accents around the vents. What do you think of the front? I think it looks much better than in pictures, but you guys gotta see it yourself. Coming to the sides, we have a more familiar silhouette, but it looks a bit more tame and comfortable than the previous one. And it also looks a bit longer because it is. The M Sport package extends to the sides where everything around the windows is gloss black and there is no hint of chrome anywhere like on the stock standard car. This one is fitted with big 20-inch wheels running some intricate wheels, which I am not a big fan of. I prefer the traditional clean, looking wheels. This one's, I don't prefer them. So the car is now 4.7 meters long, 1.9 meters wide, and the height is 1.66 meters. It weighs about 1,980 kgs for the 20D and the M50, and 2,065 kgs in the hybrid version. The new BMW design language continues to the rear, but it has a cleaner look overall. There are no fake exhaust on this and the 30E. It's only on the M50 where you find the quad pipes like you saw earlier on the M135. There's a little F1 style inspired lights on the lower center of the bumper. There's an electric tailgate which you can open with the remote or with the button on the car, or also by kicking underneath the rear bumper. The boot's capacity is 570 liters in the 9 hybrid versions and 460 liters in the hybrid version because of the electrical stuff. This also comes with a big spare wheel hidden underneath the boot floor. It's about damn time, BMW. The fuel tank is 65 liters in the non-hybrid cars and 50 liters in the hybrid. If you spec it with a tow bar, you'll be able to tow 2,400 kgs in the 20D, 2,200 kgs in the M50, and only 2,000 with the hybrid. And that's more or less it for the exterior. It's a very divisive design, and I feel like it will have to grow on most of you guys because it seems like you're not very happy with the design. But I feel like this is how it has been with all the new BMWs. They have to grow on us, all of it. There's also massive changes in the interior, and I think this deserves its own standalone video, but let's quickly go through the massive ones. You get the new beautiful steering wheel with a flat base and a 12-0 clock marking, and the beautiful open vertical spokes, which I really like at the bottom of the steering wheel. All the buttons you need are there, and they are kind of physical and kind of not. It's hard to explain, I know. The pedals are nice and big, but they feel mushy when you use them, and they are plastic, unlike in the old Beamers. This is very weird. You also get a massive 12.3-inch driving display. So this is your digital gauge. This is where you'll be seeing your speeds and all the other driving information, plus other stuff like the maps, and a 14.9-inch infotainment screen that you find in the middle. The driving display, you can control it with the buttons on the steering wheel, and the screen in the middle, you can control it with all these buttons and knobs that you see in the center console, but it's also touch screen, so you can just touch it to do whatever you want, and it's very smooth, responsive, and very quick. It didn't feel laggy at all. And I think it's because it's using the latest iDrive operating system from BMW, which for some people might be a bit complex and complicated. It might take some time to learn, but I quickly got used to it. But for some people, it might be a bit too much. There's a big compartment on the center console where you'll find 2 USB-C ports, 2 cup holders, and a big M logo, which BMW calls the gem. What? One of the first things you see when you enter the car in a space that is dark enough is the ambient lighting. It's big and it's everywhere. You find it on the dash, center and door trims, and also in the food compartment. It's big and bold, and I actually like it a lot. And it's not just ambient lighting, it's interactive ambient lighting, which means it reacts to some of the actions that you take in the car or that the car takes. The doors house the normal door stuff like window controls, but what's interesting for me is this big plastic beach here and with the big X3 written on it. This is actually where you lock and unlock the car, store and select your seat presets, and control the front vent. So you can slide up on that little line there to open the vents and slide down to close them. Pretty complex for nothing. The rest of the door is just a normal mix of soft touch and plasticky material. And I feel like there's more plasticky materials than usual, which is a bit of a letdown from BMW. The seats are very comfy and well bolstered at the same time. They really do feel and look good. They go pretty low if you prefer driving sedans like me, so you can still feel a bit sporty and you can get the sitting position right where you prefer it because of the level of adjustments that you get. The rear seats are also nice and comfortable with ISOFIXes for baby seats. There's also more than enough leg room and headroom, so practicality wise, it's on point. There are some ports for BMW accessories on the seats here, and this came with some shades on the back windows, making it even more appropriate for babies. This comes with a big glass roof, which you cannot open, unfortunately. You can only open and close the sunshade. How does it drive? First of all, it's very comfy. It just floats over the horrible four-way roads like it's nothing. But it's not a Rolls Royce, so you'll still feel the bigger bumps and holes, and it can feel a bit unsettled sometimes, when the bump is big enough or when the hole is big enough. This one is spec'd with an adaptive suspension for a slightly firmer ride when you drive it in a sporty manner, but I kept it in comfort because it's a 20D SUV after all. The diesel engine is super smooth and super quiet. Matter of fact, you're just gonna forget about it after starting the car. And combined with the 8-speed auto gearbox, the driving experience is just great. This would make a great daily, to be honest, and it will also make a distance destroyer because of the torque, the comfortable seats, and overall the features that you get with the interior. Although this car is not a hybrid, it does come with a 0.9 kilowatt hour battery that adds 13 kilowatts. This further assists the smoothness of the driving experience because with traditional engine plus gearbox setups like my car, there's always a slight hesitation and jerk when you move away from a slow turn or from something like a speed hump, which gets a bit annoying at times. So you just have to be smooth on the throttle. But with this car, there's nothing like that. You just step on the throttle and it goes, whether you are turning, whether you are moving away from a stop. It's just smooth, and I think it's because of the assistance from the battery. So overall driving experience is great. Great comfy seats, well sorted and compliant suspension, amazing cockpit full of features, and a well designed and optimized drivetrain. So what are my first final thoughts of the new X3? I think it's an awesome car with amazing features and great driving capabilities. The design is bold in and out, so you have to see it for yourself before you make the final conclusion. It's practical with more than enough boot space, leg room and headroom, and it comes with an actual spare wheel. It comes with its flows though, like the digital aircon. I didn't mention it when I was talking about the exterior because we have complained about it enough, but these car manufacturers keep doing it. And another thing that let me down about this car is that it feels a bit more plasticky than previous model. But I guess this is the case with all cars these days. The price starts from 1.1 million for the X320D. You can also get the 30E from 1.26 million and the big dog M50 from 1.53 million if you prefer petrol and more power. So yeah, the M50 is BMW M2 money, by the way. And all those prices are standard without any options. So what do you think of the new X3? Do you like the design? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and sub, and I'll see you all in the next one.